Hollande's responsibility pact, well, it's already compromised. We've been hearing so much about this responsibility pact in the last couple of months. It's the government pledge to cut labor costs for businesses that create jobs. It's the main part of Hollande's social democrat transformation, his pro-business transformation. But Le Figaro says that even though this was supposed to bring everybody together, it's turning into a big fight, a fight between the left and the right. The left, well, actually, everyone doesn't like this thing. The left and trade unions, for instance, say that all this is too pro-business. It's giving presents to businesses, while the right actually says, no, it's not going far enough. It's not enough pro-business. Businesses, for instance, according to Le Figaro, are running around like a headless chicken. That's a quote from Le Figaro today. They're afraid that all this is a fool's bargain. Basically, it's going to make them responsibility for unemployment. And so that's why they're not thrilled about it.
Now, even the leader of the main business representative organisation has voiced his opposition.
That's right. This is Pierre Gattaz. He's the leader of MEDEF. And he actually said this while he was in the U.S. with François Hollande. It kind of pulled the rug out from under the government's feet. He says that he doesn't want to sign up for anything that's going to tie businesses down, handcuff them to the government. And you can see on the front page of L'Opinion that Gattaz is imposing his political line. But L'Opinion says he's no politician. He's a business leader first and foremost. And he has other business leaders united behind him. The communist paper L'Humanité is very critical of Gattaz, which is not very surprising. They say that he's not being fair with the government because all he wants is gifts from the government, like tax cuts, etc. And in return, this promise to create jobs, well, they'll wait and see, and they'll wait until they've got everything they want, and then they'll see about creating jobs.
Franco-German relations are also in the spotlight, aren't they, today?
That's right. That's because the French and German governments are holding a joint cabinet meeting today in France, and La Croix takes a look at their relationship and points out that after a rocky start, well, it's kind of a love affair between François Hollande and the German Chancellor Angela Merkel. France and Germany want to do more together, and this article points out that one reason why relationships are so rosy is because neither country has a major election, like a presidential election, within the next 3 years, and so that's actually good for their relations. But Les Echos, the business daily, says don't expect anything spectacular. Even though France and Germany talk the talk, they don't always walk the walk. France and Germany have a hard time seeing their projects through, according to Les Echos.
OK, now something completely different, left-leaning Libération, focusing on something that Flo was talking about yesterday, a dark chapter of French history that was kept out of the public eye for decades. That's right.
This is on the front page of Libération today. It's the Orphans of the Republic. Now, this is the scandal of Reunion's stolen children. Basically, in the 1960s and the 1970s, hundreds of children were forcibly dispatched from the Indian Ocean territory back to France. Now, this was an official policy, officially to help Reunion because its population was exploding, and to also help France because a lot of rural areas, for instance, didn't have enough people. Now, these children were promised a better life, an education, a home, success, but often, actually, they worked as farmhands and actually sometimes became the servants of bourgeois families. And these are young kids we're talking about, sometimes as young as 6 months old.
And Libération actually interviews, doesn't it, one of the stolen children?
That's right. You just got a peek at his photo. That's Jean-Charles Serdaigne. He's 60 years old now, but he was actually sent to France when he was 13, and he was promised a future as an industrial designer, but he was one of those kids that ended up working out as a farmhand. Now, he'd also been promised that he'd be able to go back to Reunion every year, but it took him 36 years to go back to his island. He had to save up so much money, and today he's still very angry about all this. He says, the state stole my future. We were used as slaves. But the reason we're talking about all this today is because yesterday, the lower house of parliament, the National Assembly, recognized the official responsibility of France in this scheme, this forced exile scheme. But it wasn't really an apology, so he's waiting for that apology today.
OK, you can read about it in Libération. Flo, thanks very much. Flo with the French newspapers. Coming up for you here on France 24, the latest from Kiev. We've just, in the last few seconds, actually got a new death toll coming into us from the health ministry there, saying 25 people have now died in those clashes. Also coming up in the next half hour, he's a household name here in France. The mayor of Paris, Bertrand Delanoë, stepping down. We'll be looking at perhaps his biggest legacies, beaches on the banks of the Seine, Paris's bike and car rental services in the next half hour.